Thank you so much for joining the Miracle Mind. Like I said, it's an amazing adventure. Adventure in the sense of this is just the beginning. Your release of your self-identity is just the beginning. That's where it starts, right? So it's like, yeah, okay, this is quite an accomplishment to get to the point of releasing your self-identity for just a moment, not holding on to it, and see that that is just the beginning. Then there's more, there's more, there's more, there's more, and it just keeps getting bigger and becomes, yeah, more full in your awareness than ever before. So see, that's an occurrence. It is it's revealed to you by just being open to it. And yeah, concepts won't help. Your intellect helps temporarily to at least know some instruction, like, okay, I don't have to do that, I don't have to do that, and I don't have to do that. And that's about it. It's like, that's how you use your intellect, not to figure out how holy holiness is, or how where all your say meaningless thoughts are coming from, because then you can look for it for a long time. So why am I thinking these things that are so crazy? It's like, well, you will never get an answer to that. There will only become more questions. You don't understand that, you don't understand that, you don't understand that. So this is today's chapter 6, has everything to do with that. Like, what am I? Well, there was something that asked one question that appeared to be a thing, and it says, who are you? And you took the question serious. Who are you? You took the question serious, so you tried to find an answer. And did you find it? Well, that really depends on if you allow yourself to have this question be answered by something that is not coming from your own, say, human thoughts, your ego thoughts, your considerations about yourself, things that are related to your images of yourself, because they will never tell you who you are. So with your reflections will not tell you where you are, unless you are fully in communication with everything that is. Then there's no doubt. Then you don't even ask the question, you know it. So anyway, that makes sense, right? So who are you? This question you ask many times to whoever. It's like, who are you? Who are you, actually? Who are you? It's like, well, you know who I am. If you know who you are, you know who I am. Right? It's like, okay, we get that far, right? I know who you are, so you know who you are. Come on, you know who you are. You're not what you think you are, of course not. No. So if you know who you are, you know who I am. It's not a trick. It is just a matter of allowing yourself that question to be answered, but not trying to figure it out yourself with your ideas. So that makes a lot of a difference. Yeah, so it wouldn't hurt. Yeah, oh no, let me tell some more about chapter 6, because that's the chapter of today. Chapter 6 has everything to do with you could say, like, the making the connection with your spirit mind, with your Holy Spirit, like making the connection with the Holy Spirit. So lessons, you get lessons from the Holy Spirit. And one of the lessons is, you want to receive, give all to all. Like, one of the lessons is give all to all. So, and there are more of those lessons. So you can read them, or you can listen to them on the, say, Urtext A Course in Miracles website, urtextacourseInmiracles.com, and you can listen to this chapter. It's really interesting because it actually tells you about the lessons of the Holy Spirit. I think there are 2 or 3 lessons that are directly in the book. You can read about it. Now, of course, there are much more lessons that you can learn from the Holy Spirit. So to stay in contact with it and listen to it, and actually letting you inspirit it, letting you be inspirited by the Holy Spirit, makes it a real, like, joint venture. You're actually hooking up with the Holy Spirit as your only guide, making all the decisions for you, leaving your mind to be at peace. So continuously having almost like a conversation with Spirit, like, okay, I have no idea how to look on that. I have no idea what to say. Show me, or speak for me, or show me where I need to go. How am I doing? How can I do this? Or what am I playing tonight? What song am I playing today? No idea. And whambo, there's something that is a real confirmation that it is the right thing that's coming to you, because it communicates. It takes, not only is it the gift to you, but to your brother as well at the same time. So that's how we recognize that we're one. So the Holy Spirit is great to use in all situations that you have a question. So never, you don't have to look for an answer yourself. In fact, that you should not do that. So your mind is incapable of answering any questions. Is that clear? I shouldn't ask that either. It's like, of course that's clear. It's not coming from me, so it should be clear. And whether you understand it or not doesn't even matter. So I have no concern about that. Wow. Okay, so the next step then, it is for me like a total party already. It's like, it's so great to meet you here, being open to receive this, because the gifts are just beyond compare, and they're overwhelming, really. So this is on a moment-by-moment basis, giving you exactly what you need, exactly what is right for you and for everyone else in this moment. The only thing is being open, giving space to the light within, letting that occur. All right, so coming back to my little program today then is time. Who am I? Well, there's enough material in the Urtext or in the Course in Miracles that can give an answer to that. Now I say some of the expressions came to me, and I used them in a musical composition with some words, with some, like a real meditation. Okay, I am meditation. I am come as a light in the world. I am come as a light in the world. So it's like this is where it starts. And we're going to do it. And then we will be still for a moment after that. Welcome to this I Am meditation. Following are some expressions of I am, from you to you, from Christ to Christ. I am come as a light into the world. I am like you, and you are like me. I am the model for rebirth. But rebirth itself is merely the dawning on your minds of what is already in them. Behold, I am with you always. I am not absent to anyone, nor in any situation. I am with you always. I am the way and the truth and the light. I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent Christ who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because the one who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. I am come as a light into the world. I am come as a light into the world. I am like you, and you are like me. I am the model for rebirth. But rebirth itself is merely the dawning on your minds of what is already in them. Behold, I am with you always. I am not absent to anyone, nor in any situation. I am with you always. I am the way and the truth and the light. I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent Christ who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because the one who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. I am come as a light into the world. So we're continuing with listening to Master Teacher for 15 minutes to the second part of the talk. Can you hear this? So here we go.
This puts Socrates to shame. Lesson 139 by Jesus Christ in the Course in Miracles would make Aristotle blush. It's incredible. It's absolutely the mind that did lesson 139 is so incredibly great that you ought to be jumping up and down. Now, lesson 140 will what? It'll come right back into there's no cure. There's no cure except atonement. That's lesson 140. Lovely. Says that instead of re-illusioning your associations, see the consciousness as whole through the love that extends from your mind. Okay? If that consciousness is really sitting out there with cancer, dear one, nothing in earth or heaven is going to make him well. You must look at it this way. The sickness in the disease in the sin is only separation. Okay? Anything that can, I'm doing the course, I just keep doing these sentences over and over for you. Anything that could become sick could not possibly be real. How the hell am I going to work a miracle here if you're going to tell me that you're sick and I'm going to allow you to be sick? Don't let your brother be sick. Want another one? Don't let your brother die. You guys are putting up too much energy. I'm liable to spring you right out of here. See what's happened? I got some of my. There's never been a case where a so-called advanced teacher, Master Christ, whatever you call him, has ever been able to awaken any of his disciples. Never. Never. Oh, I was with Muktananda for 20 years, and I look at him and I say, big deal. You know, you go, See? Yeah, and he had a lot of, what do you guys call it? Saktipa. He's a lovely guy. But what's happening to you guys as disciples, I'm not giving you any discipline. Okay, that's the toughest discipline there could ever be. I refuse to give you direction because if I do, you'll attack me. Why? When it fails, because you'll put the discipline in the framework where you can blame for me when it doesn't work. I have no intention of allowing you to do it. No. You're not going to get away with that. And I know that you do it. I know you're doing it right now. But if you come around me, I won't let you get away with being yourself. That's crazy to me. Why would you want to do that? We're always in confrontation. When you begin to teach this, as awakened teachers, and all of you here are doing it, this is a very advanced association. Okay, you will make unqualifying demands on the perceptual consciousness. If it doesn't accept it, you'll just reject it. It has nothing to do with you. Okay, this is the whole basis of the teaching for what Jesus calls advanced teachers, okay? If you come to me with a problem, it doesn't really have any meaning to me. That is, you're presenting me with your request that there's a solution contained within you that will answer the directive that I have given you, that you're whole and perfect. Okay. You're not asking the right question of me. Okay. When you do ask the right question, you don't want to accept it. Why? Because you have projected me as an image of a funny guy standing here. You're going to examine how I came to know this, for example. Well, how long have you been studying? Do you have a diploma that says that you're able to tell me more about God than I know? It's just crazy. It finally doesn't make any sense. Why? Most particularly because you're only going to hear from the guy what you want to hear anyway. You cannot hear more than you want to hear, right? Cause and effect are not separate. You can only get the answer back that you've designed in your mind to hear. Well, all I'm doing is, through this association, changing your own association with yourself. Quite literally, I'm giving you a better reflection of yourself than you have. See? Now, did I do that by a confrontation with you and I in my mind? Nah. I did it because I know that what you're presenting to me is not so. There aren't separate personas. Okay? That is, the idea that there are separate identities used to disturb me a lot. I would look and see somebody outside myself, and I'd say, I wonder whose that is. Yeah. Like you ask your mother, Mother, if you weren't my mother, would I still be me? And she'd say, no, you're somebody else's little boy. You can't get that in your mind, okay? It's hard to get that. Yeah, because when I was 7, I said, yeah, but I'd still be me, wouldn't I? She'd say, no, you're somebody else. I said, I don't understand. My mind couldn't understand. Okay, it's an amazing thing. If you stop and look at the lunacy of 3,000 million separate associations on Earth, I saw that very early. It didn't make any sense. It's senseless. If each one of them is a separate consciousness, it's impossible. Like Jesus says, judging them is absolutely futile. So what you do is close it into a limited judgment association and form genetic associations that sustain you momentarily in your time framework. You're just going like this all the time. Blah, 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 and you're trying to hold it. See, now, so the psychology then is to get you not to associate with your projections. You put them out there. They're being used by you to identify yourself. Okay, this is the way you should be teaching the Course, because the initial statement of the Course is that none of this is real, and this is just in your mind. Okay. Now, if I give you a body identification, all right, and you and I decide to share that body identification, what have we done? Just acknowledge our mutual temporalness. Now what are we going to do? Well, let's get together and have some kids, okay? We'll get them through law school. What are you looking forward to? Well, I plan to get in a wheelchair and face the wall and drool for 7 years while you hope that I die so I don't appreciate the estate. That's crazy. You see the ambivalence of split mind, hate, love? And then no wonder you feel guilty. Oh, it's just awful. Now, when I was going through my awakening period, I was feeling intense pain for my associations. I mean, really intense. The sign of an awakened mind is you can't stand the pain of the other guy. And a lot of you healers, or what you call unhealed healers, have tried to alleviate the pain of your associations. And you feel the futility of it because it literally can't be done. You work your magic, your nostrums, your pills, your demonstrations, your psychological reassociations, and the damn consciousness dies. Suicide rate among physicians is very high. I work with impaired physicians, and they would come to me in private and say, hell, everything I treat dies. And these were guys that wanted to heal. They don't, I told you this before, they don't get through medical school now much anymore. But when I was growing up, we had guys that really wanted to heal. They had the old practitioner that you had, Dr. Layton, used to come with a black bag to the house, and he healed. And I can look back and see that he healed. Okay, and he didn't have any real medicine to give, but he came and he was there, and there was an exchange going on, and I'm very much aware of it. One of the reasons we're wrapping this whole episode up is you've stopped exchanging and you've gone to thought forms, okay, and you're treating the impossibility. You're treating the thought form rather than the holistic association. It's a fact. And the more computer you put into it, the more necessity you have to treat the specific association, which is absolutely futile and means absolutely nothing. If it's a possibility that the consciousness be in pain, the pain has to be total or it's not painful at all. And that pain can only be separation and a demand to reassociate separate from the wholeness and die in the expedience of the tension caused in time. And that's what you're doing right now. I don't know how you stand it. I couldn't stand, finally, the disease of the necessity to hold on to perceptual reality. Jesus says, how do you take the pain? Every time you get things together in your mind in the form, I know some of you are going, well, I know, but I'm going to be able to do it. No, you're not. Well, you say, I'm going to be able to hold this together until what? Until it falls apart. So you're demonstrating to me life based on holding your thought forms together and then having them collapse in sickness and pain. If that's all you think life is, what the hell are you doing here? You don't need me. If your life is only going to be based on you holding yourself together and then rotting in that body, why do you come to me? I'll tell you why. You really don't like the situation that you're in. But you don't see any alternative to it. Not really. Why? If you saw the alternative of it, you'd immediately exercise it. You're nuts, but you're not that nuts. The whole basis of this teaching is to give you one single alternative to everything that you've ever done up until now. Isn't that so? Am I an impossible alternative? Yeah. You keep demanding to know how I fit into your relationship. I don't fit. That's the whole teaching. But remember, that's augmented with the assertion that you are a willing slave to death. And if you want to do that, who the hell will stop you? Your demands to know who you are in your own relationship are obviously what? The tension of your associated thought forms, aren't they? Everybody hear me? Say yes. Oh, good. I thought some of you might still be questioning that. You know the problem you're having with this? Should I tell you? Why you write things down? It's too simple. You will not accept the absolute simplicity of this. Why? It's a total discredit to you. You can't stand the idea that you need do nothing. You absolutely can't stand it. Don't tell me you're going to get me, you're going to participate with me in this. You're wrong. You need do nothing. Well, I know. You're going to tell me that all I have to do is sit on this chair and do nothing to work. I say, no, that's doing a lot. Okay. What you define as nothing is everything. You couldn't come around me and not identify yourself and not wake up. It's impossible. It would be impossible. But you're nothing but an energy package. Jesus calls you the great race. You're nothing but an association of thought forms contained within this whole drama, aren't you? Okay, now, somewhere within your association, wherever that is, you're hearing me. I've always said exactly the same thing to you. Why? It's the truth. Okay, you're the one that doctors it all up. You're the one that says, I don't sing Christian hymns. That means absolutely nothing to me. It's absolutely meaningless. Why? Everything that you associate with is meaningless. That's not a very scientific approach. On the contrary, it's a very scientific approach. It's quantum. It's the inclusion of all thought in all thought. But wouldn't I lose my perceptual reality? I don't understand lose perceptual reality. I'm not teaching you, okay, to a notation of non-perception. I am teaching you to perfect perception for just a moment. Your whole idea that you can somehow grasp non-perception is silly. How can perception become non-perceptual except by becoming perfectly perceptual? That's the passageway. That's the perfect reflection of the thought forms that are emanating at the schism point right now. This is the star that Jesus talks about, that is hung in as a permanent beacon for you to identify with Star of Bethlehem, we call it in esoteric Christianity. And it hangs right here. Well, it really doesn't hang right there. Yeah. Where did you think it hung? Somewhere out there? Who do you think is reenacting the Christmas story? Do you guys read chapter 20? You're reenacting the Christmas story. Do you see that? You're going to go through what? The passion of your crucifixion, apparent crucifixion, and resurrection, aren't you?
So where to go from here, right? It's great. It's great to be discombobbled by it too. It's like, it's an experience to listen to Master Teacher. Always, it's great. I love it. And I love it very much because of the, in fact, there's a constant release in it. It's like, no, that's not it. No, forget about that. No, that's not, no. It's like all your concepts just go, oh yeah, no, I don't need those. No, of course not. No, it makes total sense. So you listen to him and actually you start to see it doesn't make any sense to hold on to it. Now this is great. That's why it is really like a purification or a cleaning up of all your concepts and or ideas or attitudes in which you hold everything together, you know, like he was talking about, like holding this together, holding something together that you don't even want, and thinking that that's a necessity for you to do that in order for nobody knows. So continuing then with this is, say, a little bit backwards in the talk. We go to the microcosm. The microcosm of your body is the macrocosm of the universe, is all the same stuff. And so I'm using a couple of sheets for that, a couple of, some text, and using that to support us in, say, considering the ideas one more time, considering in terms of taking a look at it and seeing like, oh yeah, wow, let go, whoa, can't believe this. Like how the non-doing is, in fact, like all stuff I don't have to do. This is what I don't have to do. That is what I don't have to do. I don't have to be concerned. I don't have to hold on to this. And it goes really far. Like, in fact, it's complete. It's all that is. All that is can emerge in you when you stop doing. So that being said, I'm sharing with you the some of the text and see subatomic relationship. Well, good luck. Subatomic relationship. I didn't know we had one like that, but here it is. Subatomic relationship. So I'm just using, say, parts of the text and see where we end up. Finally, there is no difference between something solid and something fluid and something airy. It's only in your demonstration, contained within your own perceptual associations. Is in fact like you determine how things are with your belief in it. That makes this solid at all. It's an image. Jesus calls it a dream, so that you can be sure that it is not real. So whatever a dream is, it's for sure it's not real. It can feel very real, just like your dream at night. It can feel very real, but it isn't. It's a dream. It is not real. Why? It has no source. Yeah, but I'm dreaming it, right? I'm dreaming it? No, you're not. It's a dream. It has no source. It's not real. Why? It has no source. See, you guys don't mind the idea that it's not real. You can accept that. You'll judge it as illusory, illusionary, but you won't judge the source as illusionary. Do you see? See, that's why I said, like, yeah, but I'm dreaming it, so I must be the source of it. No, you're not. You are not the source of it. Absolutely not. Say, there's an idea of you that you are actually dreaming. No, you can't ignore that, right? So, do you see? Here's where you have the problem, because perceptually, since your associated thoughts have not left this identity, they are always reflecting back to themselves what they are really, but what they are really thought forms. It is a thought form. So here's where you have the problem, because perceptually, since your associated thoughts have not left this identity, they are always reflecting back to themselves what are really thought forms. This is a thought form. This body, for instance, this microcosm, is a universal thought form. I guarantee you that this is true. That contained within me is the universe, not as a symbolic relationship between the microcosm. Listen, it is the same thing. Can you hear it? Subatomically, there's just as much smaller than me as there is bigger. Can you see this? The distance from a subatomic relationship of energy factor to my head is approximately 28,000 light years, moving at the speed of light, atomically in its relationship. Jesus calls it a constellation. He says in the Course that you are a constellation of conflicting associated ideas. Well, he doesn't say it. I'm just saying this. You have a momentary, symbiotic, conflictual relationship in this constellation. Are you fighting a galactic war in here? Oh yeah, you're fighting a war within your own system. Take a look at the mercenaries that you'll bring in to attack or defend yourself in relationship with what? With this. All of your Star Wars associations are going on in your body. Everything is going on in that association. What are we going to do now first? We're going to develop interstellar drive. In other words, if it's going to take me that long to come from this association to this association, how am I ever going to get my energy? And this is what you would call my potential, my source, my black hole. Every galaxy has a black hole, which is what? Your genetic association compacted at the time of the schism. Every galaxy has a black hole, which is what? Your genetic associations compacted at the time of the schism. So everyone got that? Yeah. Any questions? Oh no, I shouldn't ask that anymore. So here we are. Master teacher puts this down. It's like, okay, so the point between this and this is about 26,000 light years. It's just as far as from Andromeda to the far end of the Pleiades galaxy, which is about the same distance. So it's like all of that is the same as when you would look at your genetic, say, cellular idea about yourself. You go into that and see the subatomic particles that we've seen in the, say, all the particles that we have seen in the quantum light work. Like all of that comes back so small, smaller, smaller, smaller. And the distance between these, say, particles is so immense in comparison that it's the same thing as the 20,000 light years that stars are removed in this, yeah, even in this, the closest galaxies. And this is all about you. So that gives you a bit of a broader perspective about yourself. Like this is literally your body. So, and you fight wars, you fight star wars between this one constellation and the other. And it's brutal. It's a brutal fight sometimes. Now here he comes up with one thing. It's like we have to come up with interstellar drive. And I don't know if you're familiar with Star Trek or anything like this, or Star Wars. So interstellar drive is in fact, say, traveling at a high speed to get somewhere, like warp speed, whatever you want to call it. It's like warp speed. Suddenly you find yourself in a different galaxy altogether. Now, this is what you could call a miracle. It's like you are compacted in this dense idea about yourself, which is a thought form. It's a form, like a thought form. You think it's solid, so it's solid. It's pretty solid. It's a bit fluid, but it's also solid. So it's like you gave it all kinds of characteristics, and now something is going to happen when you, say, use this interstellar drive, you could say, to travel in your macrocosm. In fact, it's like inviting the miracle takes you out of your body definition for just a moment and brings you into a different time-space continuum, which is really like timelessness. Now that is a bit of the language that we have started to get used to in the, say, as the way that I, say, teach this or, say, demonstrate this to you. It becomes a way to at least intellectually do something with it. But in the meantime, something else is happening with it, because none of it is so as you think it is. So, in other words, the healing that can take place by you realizing that all your definitions are, say, false, all your definitions about yourself are false, you made just like a gigantic step forward. So you use your intellect, in other words, to make sure that you come to the conclusion that you have no idea who you are. In that, it can be revealed to you. Your mind can open up, your consciousness opens up for the light, and you have an alternative given to yourself, in fact. And that alternative is there for you because, in fact, we heard this too in the talk. It's like you have come to the place where you have to admit, I cannot stand the pain. I cannot stand the pain of this place. Whether I'm successful or whether I fail, it really doesn't matter. I cannot stand the pain of this place. Like it's too cruciatingly painful to see the suffering, to see people cry because they think they've lost a loved one. Like, what place is that? Like, I cannot stand that place. Or think being so confused that you don't know where to go, or having so much pain that you don't know how to live with yourself. Now, all of these things are like it's unbearable. It's unbearable. This is the place where you have come to, and what you recognize as the starting point for your awakening, because it's like, I don't know where to go with it, but I know that I can stand it. It's enough now. So by saying that, by emitting that, something occurred. Your consciousness opened up, and suddenly you're able, say, to receive a new frequency of new alternative frequency that you couldn't receive before. It is literally like a radio station. Like suddenly you throw away the the long wave and you start to do the FM frequency, or whatever the love frequency. You turn on the love frequency and suddenly you start to hear things that you never heard before. Now you expose yourself more and more to this new frequency that actually is directly speaking to you, making it possible for you to see everything in a new light. So this whole world that was first a place of, say, separation and of limitation suddenly turns into a place where you find your freedom, seeing that you're not depending on this for your identity. You actually dissociate from it, but at the same time being in it, discovering that it was it is completely different than you thought it was. Because now my mind is like enveloped in holiness, is completely like glowing in holiness. And wherever I go, everything starts to look different just because I recognize myself to be, say, completely in connection with all of it. And you say like, well, I don't experience that every day. It's like, okay, that does not matter. So what do I do to make that better? Don't do anything. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. There's no discipline that will get you out of this. So this is what Master Teacher taught too. Is like, this is the hardest discipline. There's no discipline. There's no ways of doing this. That's why it's miraculous. You know, if there would be a way to figure this out, like an NLP kind of programming or something, neuro-linguistic programming that could get you out of this, hey, that would be great. No, there is not. This is even so much more great because it doesn't even use a human frame of reference. It takes you out of it. Now that is progress. That has nothing to do with any kind of psychology in that sense. So it's a miraculous occurrence that is happening to you. You're a whole part of it, and your receiver is right open to actually get this. So whatever works for that is so lovely. So whatever works, that is so great. So loving that. I have to check the time. Okay, so for now this is great. We got somewhere. This is my feeling. So in the meeting I will say still play a song and for the rest we're relaxing. We're not doing anything. We're opening ourselves up for the communication that is already here, that is available, and that is yours. Like, you're completely included in that. All right, so thank you so much for joining me in this, say, Miracle Mind. And we had a bit of chapter of the day, chapter 6, tomorrow chapter 7. So tomorrow chapter 7 will be like an hour meeting at the same time as this meeting, where we really go into chapter 7 and see what happens. All right, so thank you so much, and see you soon.